welcome to Views from the Road Home tonight. Tonight being 4th of January, 2018. Happy New Year's, everybody. I hope you had a great holidays. Tonight, unfortunately, I don't have a guest. My guest was unable to attend tonight. We're going to make her come back later. Thus, we're going to have a little bit of a story time tonight, and we're going to talk about some of the things we do at the Road Home that are maybe a little bit different or help to develop a sense of community. So let's start off with a little story. Back when I was in 2000, I'm sorry, not 2000, in the 90s, so I'm that old, I was in the last century. I was at a place called Fort Irwin, the National Training Center. Fort Irwin is literally in the middle of Death Valley. It's 40 miles to the nearest McDonald's. It's about an hour drive. It had been Thanksgiving weekend. We had 4 days off. A number of us, probably around 30 of us, were not going home that year for Turkey Day. One of our NCOs invited us over to his house, assistant managers, NCOs, invited us to his house to celebrate Turkey Day and have a friendly football game. What happened was he cleared out his garage. There were about 4 long folding tables set up, dining table, and the NCOs had got together and their families and the 30 of us, so there were probably around 50 people at total in his garage, and we had the giant Turkey Day dinner, and then we went and played a little bit of what is called rough touch football. If you're not familiar with that, it means please don't draw blood, but everything else is okay. And that is kind of how the military works in a lot of ways. The military is very much about developing a sense of community, letting people let them know that they are welcome. You may not be able to go home, you may be in the middle of a desert, you might be in the mountains, you might be sleeping in a sleeping bag in a swamp, you might be in the middle of a jungle, you might be in DC. But you're always a member of the family, and we try to take that attitude at Road Home also. Now the reason I'm sharing this story is, last time we talked about Road Home, last 2 times actually, we talked about PTSD, which is a very serious subject, of course, not a very pleasant one, of course. We talked about, in general, what we do at the Road Home, and a lot of what we talked about was mental health care and counseling, and a lot of people aren't ready for that. They're not ready to go to see a therapist once a week or check into an intensive outpatient program if they qualify. What they really want to do is they just want to be part of a community again. They just want to share their experiences with other people who understand their experiences without judgment, without the feeling of I'm being looked at or I need to go to counseling or whatnot. So at Road Home, what we do is we have a number of classes or a number of groups for people who just want to drop in and talk to other people who will understand what you're feeling, what you're going through, because they've been there themselves and they're still working through those issues, or maybe they're just there to help support others who are going through those issues. Now, when we talk about this, the first one we're going to talk about, well, let me back up a second. First of all the ones we're going to talk about except for one are drop-in. Simply, you can register if you'd like, and they're open to anybody who's a veteran family member, veteran supportive family member. You just drop in, you attend, and then you go on. There's no fees, there's no requirements, there's no, oh, I have to be a patient or a client, except for one class, and we'll talk about that one. The first class we're going to talk about is the mindfulness-based sobriety group. So what does that mean? It's basically, it is a sobriety group, okay? Now, let me show you something here. Now, our mindfulness-based recovery group. A few things to know, it's going to start in early February. I'll have more dates for you before then, but I'll also put it up on our website. One major thing to understand about our sobriety group is it's not, abstinence is not a requirement. We very much pursue the improvement-based model. So we understand that not everybody is going to be able to come to our group and be they're not going to be completely sober from day one. That's kind of the point of a sobriety group. We would like to encourage somebody to get to the place where they have control over their substance use. And maybe that's over those 12 weeks of the group, you go from drinking every night to drinking every other night, or drinking 3 times a week. We really are looking to help you as the client, as an individual, improve your control. There's no judgment, nothing like that. Second thing to know about the group is it's supportive of any substance use. It's not alcohol or cocaine or illicit drugs. It's any substance that you use that you feel is taking control of your life. It is a mindfulness-based group. Now, mindfulness, we're going to get into that a little bit more later on because we have some more mindfulness-based groups. Mindfulness basically is a technique, and I know my clinicians are going to talk to me about this tomorrow. It is a technique that allows you to kind of reassert control over your impulses, your instincts, your feelings. So instead of just letting your mind run wild and I have to do this, I must do this, you kind of bring yourself back and say, do I want to do this? And you make that decision. If you decide, no, I don't want to do that, then you simply don't. And mindfulness is a technique that helps you develop those. So that's our first group. Like I said, that'll be starting in early February. Please, if you'd like to know more about it, go to roadhomeprogram.org or feel free to call me at 312-942-6545. Or if you're watching tonight, you can call 312-738-1060. Now there's something a little bit less intense. Therapy is different for every individual. Some people are going to do well with clinicians sitting down, talking about their feelings, talking about their issues for an hour, and then coming back next week and doing the same thing. Other people are going to find relief in therapy through different outlets. One of those outlets is often art. Creating different works of art is very therapeutic for a lot of people. It's a great way to express yourself and to help work through your issues. We recognize that in Road Home. And our next group we're going to talk about is art therapy for veterans. Now, from personal experience, I've watched a number of veterans, probably around almost 200. We've had art therapy for probably 150 of those veterans. And I've met some Special Forces guys, Green Berets, SEALs, Marines, Rangers. And every time I tell them they're going to art therapy, they're like, well, I don't know what you're doing about that. I don't know why I need to go to art therapy. What am I going to do, draw little unicorns or some stuff like that? Usually the conversation is a lot more colorful, but this is public TV, so we're going to avoid that. Almost to the individual, when they come back from art therapy, they're like, that was really pretty awesome. I didn't think it was going to be like that. We'd like to bring that opportunity to every veteran. We have an art therapy class. Every Tuesday from 9 to 11 a.m., we have art therapy group for veterans. It's simply an opportunity to create, to explore, to relax, to just have a little fun. And we, of course, always provide all the materials. And it's a chance for you as a veteran to create whatever kind of art you like. Art can be a new poem, it can be a new story, it can be a mask that on the outside shows how you feel the world sees you, but on the inside shows how you feel about how you see yourself. It's always a great time. Stephanie, our art therapist, is pretty amazing. She creates some pretty wild art, pretty awesome art actually. And of course, we want to give the opportunity for veterans to also do that same thing, to create some art of their own, to express themselves and show the world how they view the world or how they feel the world views them. Now, I've said it a few times, but it bears repeating. At the Road Home program, we understand that PTSD, traumatic brain injury, the invisible wounds of war that we do deal with, that are our primary focus, don't just affect the veteran. They affect the veteran's family also. Now, going along with this, we're not going to have just art therapy for the veteran. We also have art therapy for family members. And this is for any family member. Now, let's define family member for Road Home. A family member is whoever the veteran feels is a family member. It can be a blood relative, it can be a parent, a sibling, a child, a spouse, more distant aunts, uncles, relatives, grandparents, stepchildren. It can be a friend if the vet feels that that's their family member. So we have an art therapy group for family members also. And this is Tuesdays in the evening from 5:30 to 7 p.m. And again, it's an open art studio, a chance to express yourself, to create art that you feel expresses what you want to say in whatever fashion you want it to say. It can be, again, masks, it can be drawings, it can be painting, it can be pretty much whatever you like. And again, the family members have had outstanding times. They really enjoy this. It's quite an opportunity. And again, it can also be something like poetry. It can be music. It can be whatever you like to be. It's your art. It's your chance to express yourself. Now let's get back to mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness, one of the symptoms that we heard about last month from Dr. Brennan about PTSD is that the head on the swivel. You're trying to take in the entire situation all the time. You're basically on alert 100% of the time. A good way to explain it is that feeling that you haven't studied for a test 24/7. An uncomfortable feeling for everybody. One thing we like to do is help people get past that. And mindfulness is an absolutely fantastic technique to help you with that. In a couple months, I will have our mindfulness instructors up here, and we'll ask them to teach us a few exercises and go through those. But in the meantime, we have a mindfulness meditation group for family members and their veterans on a weekly basis. Oopsie. There we go. All right. So, as I said, it's a way to kind of bring yourself in control of your feelings and your stress level. Mindfulness meets every Wednesday from 5:30 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. at our office, Suite 302 in 1645 West Jackson. Now, this group is for family members and veterans combined. It's just a nice way. Mindfulness is an outstanding way to kind of control your stress at any time. One great thing about mindfulness is it doesn't require much. It doesn't require a lot of equipment. It doesn't require that you go out and you buy some new clothes or whatnot. Mindfulness can be practiced with, I've seen them practice with a rock. It can be practiced with a jelly bean. I know some of our vets practice mindfulness with cigarettes. Mindfulness is just a technique for you to kind of help learn to control your emotions. We always like to encourage our vets to do this, and of course the family members. And anything that's going to reduce your stress level, help you be more in control of your feelings, with your reactions, is a good thing. Now the next group we're going to talk about, this one also leads me to a story. So, March of last year, I had a a number of vets come in. One was a Marine staff NCO, another Marine, a soldier who had been in 20 years in airborne. He's kind of that cranky old guy. And another one who'd been in 20 years, another cranky old guy, and Special Forces. Now, when I bring our mindfulness instructor in, we're also bring our yoga instructor, Rebecca, in. Rebecca is a slimmer woman. She's about 5'3"-ish. She's very nice. She's very pleasant. She's always smiling. The guys looked at Rebecca and they're like, and we told them we were going to do yoga. The guys looked at Rebecca and they said, I'm not doing yoga. This is dumb. You know what? I jumped out of planes for a living. I don't need to do yoga. Y'all ain't got nothing on me. So what we did was encourage guys, well, all right, well, I mean, if you're that good, I mean, you know what? It's only an hour, man. You got this. Just, do the exercises. Come on back out. Don't worry about it. The guys, after a little convincing, they reluctantly agreed. An hour later, I had these 4 guys, my Marines, and my 2 soldiers come out, and I believe the exact phrasing was, she just kicked my butt for the last hour. That has happened every single class. We have a lot of vets who hear the words yoga, they are like, no, this is dumb. How is this going to be any kind of exercise? I've had guys who've been in SEAL training, Green Berets, Recondos, Rangers. Absolutely not one of them has ever come out of that class and not said that Rebecca hasn't kicked their butts. Rebecca has actually kicked more butt in that place than all the rest of us combined. And she does it with a smile on her face. And she's very pleasant, and she just kind of looks at them and, no, yeah, let's just kind of try it out. And, yes. So we'd like to give you, viewers at home, outpatients, the same opportunity for Rebecca to kick your butt. And the way we do that is weekly yoga classes. That's right. We have weekly yoga classes at Road Home. It's an opportunity to increase your flexibility, improve your balance, sense of well-being, and just get a really good workout in. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is not a workout. Going to the gym is a workout. Running is a workout. CrossFit's a workout. I would simply encourage you to try one of Rebecca's yoga classes. She will tailor them to whomever, to your skill level. But from personal experience, I would say that although it may not feel like the workout, it may not seem like a workout at first. 1, it certainly is a workout. And 2, it's a nice way to try a different type of exercise. Maybe you're getting like me, a little bit older, and you want to try something that's a little less punishing for your body. Rebecca's yoga classes are amazing. These classes are every Tuesday from 5:30 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. Again, in Suite 302, 1645 West Jackson. And of course, it's just drop-in. Yoga classes. The way that Rebecca runs her yoga classes, you don't necessarily have to come in yoga pants and workout clothes. She does a number of types of yoga. And we do have some yoga mats for those that would like to borrow a yoga mat. So that's not a big deal. All right. Now we have a couple more classes. I'm going to do one more class. Now this is again our final drop-in class, so there's no requirement that you're a Road Home client or that you've registered before or anything like that. Now our instructor for this class does prefer that somebody has RSVP'd. It just makes the class go a little bit more smoothly. Now let me give you a story on this class. Any veteran knows that you can recognize another veteran almost immediately. And when you do, there will always be a little bit of back talk about how one service is better than the other, how how back in the old days it was more difficult, how everybody nowadays is soft, and this will go on for a good 5-10 minutes, and then your best friends. Our instructor, Johanna, is a military spouse, and she, 6 years ago, 6 years ago, she was going to veteran events with her spouse and another military spouse. And they were always welcome at these events, but the two wives noticed that the vets were always forming that immediate bond. And they started to wonder if they could form that immediate bond. Because sometimes the veterans will be willing to talk about their traumas, incidents that happened to other veterans, but they won't talk to their family members, significant others. It leads to a feeling of being left out, of trust issues, things like that. And it's not on purpose, it's just that maybe they don't have that same bond with their spouse, which sounds very bad, but it's a very special bond. It's something that doesn't happen for everybody. It doesn't even happen to all vets. It's just something that is a function of their job or their lifestyle. So these two spouses decided that they wanted to form a group where military spouses could form this bond, where they got to sit down and there was that immediate conversation, that immediate understanding of shared experience. And this group is the result. And this group is called Do You Love a Veteran Community Support Group. Now this group meets the second Tuesday of every month from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now this group is a little bit different. This group is specifically for family members or support of veterans. Somebody that literally loves a veteran that's been in their life now, that is in their life intermittently, or that is no longer in their life, but they still love them. This group exists simply for them. The point of this group is to find support among people who understand exactly what you're going through as somebody who loves a veteran, without judgment. Being married to a veteran can be a very difficult task. It can involve moving, it can involve your spouse, your significant other, your parent, being gone for months on end, possibly years, you not knowing when they're coming back, if they're coming back, where they are, what they're doing. And of course this can all lead to significant struggles for a family. This group is there to support you. They're there to talk to you, understand without judgment the things that you're going through. Including if your veteran's no longer with you, if your veteran's passed away, there are members of this group that understand what it's like to lose a family member. If you have decided that your veteran you love them, but it's simply not a good situation to be around them anymore, these members also understand that sometimes happens. So that's why the Do You Love a Veteran support group exists, for somebody to come talk to and just have that immediate understanding and that bond. Now our last group for tonight is a new group. Now this one is a little bit different. It's going to be called a STAIRS group. The STAIRS group is going to exist for survivors of interpersonal trauma. It is going to be a women's only group. Now I did say that one group we're going to ask you to please register beforehand and be a client. That would be the STAIRS group. Because of the function of the STAIRS group, where they are going to talk about very interpersonal trauma, very personal experiences, it would be best, and the group facilitator has asked, that you speak with her before you start attending this group. This group will be starting in early February, possibly in March. It will be a 12-week long group, once a week in the evenings, about an hour and a half. Right now that is all I have. I will give you more information. I will put it on our website, roadhomeprogram.org. I'll put it on our community section for upcoming events. And we'll also give you the contact information for our facilitator, so you can speak with her directly. Now, one last thing before I start to wrap up tonight. We have one more event coming up. Well, we have a number of events coming up, and I will update our upcoming events calendar. There'll be something like our glamping trip, where we get to go to a cabin. And then we will also start going to Military, Family, and Faith Community. The Military, Family, and Faith Symposium is an opportunity for members of the community to speak with an expert about military sexual trauma in this case. It's an unfortunate incident, and it happens quite a bit, but we're going to give you some opportunity to learn about it. And that will be on April 23rd. Our head speaker will be Dr. Ashton Loughran. We're going to ask you to pre-register, and you can notice that on our website. Thank you again for joining us tonight. I'm Ryan Brown from the Road Home program at Rush University. Thank you for everything you do.